Hi everyone, good afternoon to our lecturers Lawrence and to my fellow students. So I will be presenting in a topic how to apply for job application and interview. This is a guide for one of my friends or everyone. Okay, before I start, I shall start by giving guides on getting the job, or in other words, passing the interview. The first of all, you must have good impression when it comes to interview. Let's say you need to have the art of communication. You need to know the true meaning of communication and how to apply the art of communication. The second of all is having good hand gesture. I mean, if can you avoid the hand gesture, because hand gesture could bring good, and at the same time bad impression. And being well dressed. Okay, the second point is be practical on a structured question. Let's say some of the boss will give you questions like where do you see yourself in 5 years, and if the boss asks you, are you capable of the job, or some questions like um, some questions like do you how do you contribute to the company. You should give practical answer instead of short and rather theoretical answers. The third of all is showing respect to the workers that you've seen in the company that you applied, or any clerks, any office boys, every workers that they are working there, either which department, or and the interview as well. Not only that, you must show good working techniques. You should know how to apply by the techniques to interview. The fourth and last point is knowing when to ask question. Asking question isn't fully a no in an interview, but you need to know where to ask the questions. Let's say if you want to ask, if the boss asks, if the boss give you allowance to ask, you could ask questions like how was the salary like, and any privileges, or how much is the annual leave per year. So these are the questions that you can ask, and you should know when to ask. The most proper time to ask is when the interview is almost over. Okay, the second point should be the second one. Let's start on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is, before I giving guides on how to create a LinkedIn account, I should start by introducing LinkedIn. LinkedIn is an app that allows users, or either you are employee or you are the employer, you can use LinkedIn in your business purpose. For the employees, you can browse your jobs that you prefer in LinkedIn, and for the employees, you can you can seek the candidates through LinkedIn. Okay, I should start on the guides. The first step on registering LinkedIn account is, there are two steps on registering. The first one is by email or phone number, and the second one is through Google account. But I prefer Google account because, let's say if you somehow needed to do to browse your LinkedIn through your laptop or different gadgets or devices, you could feel secure without thinking much on like how would your logging in into another device of yours, you could use Google. The second of all is after after you're done with your registration, they will send you a verification code. Either they send you on your Gmail, which is Google account, email, or your phone number. So if you see the verification for code, which is 4 numbers, you should enter the verification code. So this is the step of registering. And then the third of all is you should know the features. So if you want to find jobs, there are jobs available in the job platform, the jobs icon. So if you want to see your friends who have registered through the LinkedIn, there's a icon called My Network, so you can see your friends or your contact that has used LinkedIn. Okay, CV is important. When it comes to interview, you should give proper CVs. The reason of giving proper CVs is you have a clear the interviewees have the clear have a clear look and realization of you and your requirement and achievement. So there are guides to prepare impact CVs. The first of all, obviously you should put your personal details such as your name, your age, your identity card number, where do you stay, your contact such as your phone number and your email, so that the interviewees will find you easier. Those should be put first. And the second of all is it's better to start off with working experience first. It's better to avoid putting academic at the starting point, because nowadays the interviewees or the bosses, if the bosses are the interviewee, they are more realistic. They want to seek experience more than education, which means that they seek on working experience first rather than your academic. So when it comes to academics, you need to attach a proper certificate of what you have done in your school life or your college life. So let's say if you have certificate of number one in class for school exams, you can attach that as well. And if you have leadership competition, you can attach that as well, as this is important for you to get into a job. So this should be attached. And another crucial thing to be attached is your minimum requirement, which is your school academics requirement. Let's for instance, if the job requires you to have at least diploma, you should attach the certificate of your diploma studies. The final of all, if you and this is somehow crucial, if you have talent or skills which could be applied to jobs, you could actually put that on your CV. Because if you have talent such as good time management, able to cope pressure, like if you have leadership skills, you know the art of communication, this could be a job advantage. So you could attach it as well. Okay, there are two stages of interview. Before you went to the interview, like let's say if you are interested into the job and you contacted the employers or the boss, in other words. So the boss will arrange a time for you. So you have a time to prepare yourself. So before going into the interview, you should start off by giving good impression in appearance. So if you meant to go out or hang out with friends at times before the interview, please make sure that you are well dressed and be good in your appearance, such as your hair should be well dressed and not be too long and not be too like what people said, a beggar. Your nails should be short. Your facial, you shouldn't have mustache or beard, and most entirely your attire, which is formal. Second of all, you should prepare yourself mentally. So if you are not strong enough in your self-confidence and you don't have any public speaking skills, you should prepare yourself, as this is good for you, not only for your interview but after, if you got your job. The final one is you should know basic skills needed for interviews, like hand gestures. Although hand gestures could bring good and bad impression, you should know when to give hand gestures. Hand gestures should not be applied when you are being asked or you are answering the questions. Communication, like I said just now, the art of communication is a must, and patience for your turn to interview, because if you come there, it doesn't necessarily mean you're the only one to interview, so you have to follow by the order. And patience for after the interview process, so the boss will give you some time to call you. So let's say if you have prepared for the interview and the boss contact you for interview, so you're at the scene, so there are steps for you to give good impression when you're ongoing interview. So number one, be punctual. Let's say if your interview is like 8 a.m. or the latest 9 p.m., depends on what time is the company starting the operation. You should be there for at least 30 minutes earlier, so that the boss has the preparation to interview, because you must understand it's not only you that are ongoing interview, so you should be punctual. The second of all is make sure everything is prepared. So before you're leaving your house to go to interview, you should double check and triple check if everything is prepared, like your CVs, which is important, especially if your job is in a high level company. And form attire like this, your shirt tucked in. It's better for you to wear a necktie and long pants and a leather shoes. The third of all is show some respect to the interviewees by greeting them. There's a lot of mistake that nowadays I've seen, either through social media or everywhere. They didn't greet the interviewees before they start the interview. They expect the interviewers to greet them back, which gives the interviewers that the bad impression that you are not good in how to present yourself. The fourth of all is be honest when being asked, as a sign of giving trust. So let's say if you are being asked like, have you ever been into job before, like have you have a driving license. Let's say although it's uncompulsory, but let's say if the interviewee asks you, you should be honest, you should not lie. There are a lot of cases that the candidates are lying to the interviewers, but they pass, which I think has a sign of corruption going on. But let's just leave that behind. Number 5 and the last point, you should slow yourself when you are answering question. Do not be too fast. Let's say if the interview is asking you what is your level of education, you should be slow and steady. You should not be like, my level of education, it's not like this. Okay, to conclude my presentation, I should say that the importance of giving preparation for interview. So the importance of giving early preparation for interview, it doesn't impact on the interview as well, but also impacts on you after you got this job of your choice. The first one is giving yourself for being punctual. Let's say if you got the job right and your boss or your employee has cooperation with other company, which the boss doesn't like punctual people, so you better be punctual. And efficient. So if you're working in a company, you should be efficient, because efficiency improve the business profit. Second of all is learning time management, which I should say being punctual. If you're being punctual, you learn time management. That's it.